I'm Natalie McLean. I'm a wine writer. I write for various publications across Canada. I have my own site, nataliemclean.com. And tonight should be a lot of fun. We're working with Willow Park Wine and Spirits here this evening, I think one of Canada's best wine stores. Air Miles for gold collectors. And we're teaming up as partners to host an evening tonight of wine tasting, a little bit of book reading. So books and bottles, wine and words. It should be a nice pairing altogether.
For Unquenchable, it was the search for the world's best bargain wines, but it was also the search for people who are passionate about wine, and in particular winemakers who are committed to making great wines at reasonable prices. So what I tried to do in each chapter, in each region, was seek out the most memorable, obsessive, colorful people I could find, and in telling their story, tell the story of wine. So I'm going to start with a gentleman by the name of Wolf Blass. Have you heard of him? These are people, I can tell. Over in Australia. And I'm just going to jump in. I'm going to read little snippets. You can keep drinking, which you seem not to need the encouragement to do. And we'll have some interaction if you want that. All right, so here's just a little snippet. A few hours later, as I cross the manicured lawn of the Wolf Blass Winery, it occurs to me that a lot of people don't realize there is actually a man after whom this winery is named. They think of Wolf Blass like another brand character, Duncan Hines or Betty Crocker. I apologize to Wolf later. I should have said Johnny Walker, not Betty Crocker. But anyway, he was okay with that. But just as there is a Calvin Klein and a Ralph Lauren, there's also a Wolf Blass. And no marketing team could come up with a character so colorful. He's barreling toward me now, trailed by an entourage of paid optimists. "Aren't you a supreme cookie?" he exclaims as he beams up at me, grabs my hand and forearm in both of his. Well into his 70s, Wolf's a trim 5'3" with mischievous dark eyes and pepper gray hair. He has the energy of a man twice his age and half his, oh wait a minute, not half his height. Half his age, twice his height. Anyway, he's not dead. Okay. He wears one of his trademark bow ties, a fire engine red number, and I'm told he has 700 of them. It matches his banker's suspenders and armband. He doesn't let go of my arm as he steers me over to the Wolf Blass Museum, his worried PR people in tow. Their boss is known for his stream of unedited thoughts about wine, money, business, friendship, sex, and success. All right, turning the page. All right, so now we've gone through, we are back in the tasting room. And he is talking about Shiraz, and this is what he says. "Shiraz is all about full fat flavor. You can't have high acid wines that are a commercial success. People won't drink the bloody stuff. The everyday punter doesn't understand that," he says with a significant rise of his eyebrows as though we've come to some unspoken agreement. "Shit, don't write that." The senior PR woman gives me an apologetic, "What can you do?" smile, and I smile back at her as sweetly as I can. And then we jump over to the idea of color coding labels. The idea of color coding is based on Wolf's close observations of the female mind. "My marketing was always driven toward women because I love women. I married 4 smashing crackers. The beer companies always ignored women, the puffs," he says cheerfully as he pours a glass of his red label Shiraz Cabernet Sauvignon. "Oh, I call this wine the leg opener," he says with a sly grin. I look down at my notebook. "Well, don't write that down." All righty. And one more part from Wolf, as we're looking at the childhood pictures and so on. He became, oh, did I lose it? He became known for as much the way he sold wine as the way he made it. At baseball games, for instance, he'd chat with the television cameramen, telling them he'd be in the crowd with his winery sign. Every time they focused on the sign, there was a case of wine for them after the game in the trunk. So the ball is hit up out of the park, it's a home run, up, up, up. Everyone's watching it except the cameraman because he's found my sign. Bloody cunning, he says approvingly at the memory. He also used to have himself paged over the intercom system at airports so that shoppers in duty-free stores would hear the name Wolf Blass. Would Wolf Blass come to the Avis desk, please? And he'd conduct impromptu wine tastings on planes with captive audiences. Yeah, he's a character. Has anyone got a favorite Wolf Blass wine? Yes? More than one? I guess you get the full range out here. Anybody got, who's been buying Yellow Label for a long time? Yeah, that's a dependable one. Has anybody tried the more premium, I don't work for them, by the way. Has anyone tried the more premium labels like Gray Label, Black, Platinum? Yeah. Did you realize there was a man? There was a real man? Yeah, you knew that, did you? No? No, okay. Any comments about Australia in terms of, what's your opinion these days? Are they going up in popularity, down? Are they doing the right things? Anything? Up. And top my glass up and keep going. Okay, let me just find the next snippet. For some reason, the French get all twitchy when they see their names or their place names on wine labels, he says, as we walk through the tasting room. Charles puns are a cheeky riposte to stiff French tradition. There's Côte d'Or, a Chardonnay wink to Burgundy's Côte d'Or, the Goat Father, which is an Italian blend of Barbera and Sangiovese, and my favorite label is a Cabernet blend. It has a rather blasé-looking female goat in front of a French chateau. And the name? Bordeaux. Oh, there's more. The wines originally took off, he says, because of the critter label craze, even though we weren't trying to be part of that. Okay, yes, got to turn the page here with the other hand. We're just going to skip ahead. When France threatened to sue for trademark infringement, Charles took a busload of his farm workers to the French consulate in Cape Town. They sang the traditional black struggle songs and presented the French attaché with a vacuum-sealed package of goat droppings for his garden.
In Unquenchable, each chapter we go to a different region, and we're seeking out people who are really passionate about making great wines at good prices, and in telling their story, tell the story of wine. But I think the fun part will be tasting the wines. Tonight is an Italian theme. One of the chapters in the book is all about Sicily, so it's on theme. So we'll be going through some of the wines, talking. I hope it's interactive, and we have a conversation about the wine, because that's really what I try to do in the books too, is I want you to feel like we're sitting at the kitchen table having a conversation about wine, talking over a good glass, but nothing stuffy. It's just fun.
Now you often see people raising their glass in a restaurant, hello, and squinting and looking at the color, and looks very sophisticated, right? Yeah, don't do that. All it's going to tell you is how many colors the wine can reflect from the restaurant wallpaper. Basically, the darker the color, the older the wine, perhaps the more full-bodied. In the case of white wines, if it's got some more color on it, what do you think it means besides being older? Oak, I heard someone say oak, more oak, right. And so also with the visual inspection, there should be nothing floating in your glass, right? So no sediment, no cork, no floaty bits of anything else. These wines, do they pass the color inspection? You know, they didn't cheap out tonight. These wines are really good. If you check out their prices, they're excellent. but they're also still really good, well worth buying. Okay, number two. Number two is the smell. So to smell wine, right, it's very volatile. 80% of the character of wine is in the nose because we can detect 2,000 aromas, only 5 tastes in our mouths. If you need to, swirl, do the training wheels version on the table, and then give a good sniff. Go ahead. This is really subjective. What do you smell? Grapes. Smarty. Most people actually do. You know, it smells like wine. It's true. And you know what helped me? Was just like paying attention, right? Cutting open fruits and vegetables, smelling the spices, the cinnamon on my toast, the leather chair in the den. Word of caution, before you start sniffing the furniture, yeah, you want to check, make sure no one's watching. But what we need to do is just start paying attention. We live in a visual culture. We live in an auditory culture. We've forgotten our sense of smell. We don't need to protect ourselves anymore against predators and poison berries for the children. What do you get out of, if anyone's got a red wine, what kind of aromas are you getting? Black cherry. Thank you for not saying black grapes. Black cherry will do. Number 3, we get to taste. Go ahead. Not like you need the encouragement, but here's the thing. You want to chew on the wine. You see, you know, sometimes snobby people going, like it's mouthwash. But that's, you're coating all your taste buds when you're swirling it around. Light, medium, full body. Here's the quick test. Does it feel like, not taste like, feel like skim milk, 2%, or homogenized cream? There's your light, medium, full-bodied, okay? Lastly, you want the finish. And what this is you swallow, and how long do those flavors and aromas persist? How long is it still coming back to you? And like most sensory pleasures in life, longer is better. So one of the other things you want to do is swallow and then breathe out through your nose. Just breathe though, don't send the wine back out that way, it's very painful. But what happens when you do that is you've heated the wine up through your throat and your mouth, it's volatile, and you're going to get a richer sense of the aromas. Then just compare. You smell it this way, then swallow it, breathe out through your nose. My goodness, those talking people are captivated. They're trying it. That's beautiful. Okay. Did you get that? Like, isn't there a richer sense when you like swallow and then breathe out? That's it. That's all you need to know about wine tasting. Awesome, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate your attention. Like, it's been a lot of fun. You guys are great. Cheers. Wine is the glass of conversation. It's the drink of civility, and that's what I'm hoping will come out tonight as well.